All right, one more week down. We got, shorts and t-shirts one day and then snow a couple days later. So hopefully everyone got through that week nice and safe and healthy. So this week coming up, weather permitting, we do have a Magic Mile coming up. And I know a lot of people have asked me questions on the Magic Mile. So I want to talk a little bit about the Magic Mile and then, kind of why we do it and pacing related to it. So at a very high level, the Magic Mile is basically a 1 mile race. We're going to go out, we set out some cones, we've got it measured out a distance, and you go out and run that mile as fast as you can. So whether, for some of the interval people, ask, should I do intervals or not? It's up to you. Whatever you think you can do to run the mile as fast as you can. So if you want to stick with the same intervals that you've been doing, or if you want to switch to a different interval pace for it that you think you can go faster on, that's perfectly fine. And don't worry if, maybe I could have gone faster. We're going to do, it's about every 4 or 5 weeks that we do these Magic Miles just to assess where we are. And so that's basically what it is. It's an idea to assess where we are right now. In a perfect world, we could go out, do a 5K, maybe have some other races, but realistically and logically, that's not possible to do a 5K, once a month, go out there and do a 5K or a half marathon or a 10K. So the mile, we found that we can actually get a pretty close estimate as to where we are from a fitness level, where we are from a pacing level. Then from that mile, there's a lot of calculators out there, a lot of research over the years that has gone into, based on if someone can run a mile at this pace, here's where their training should be. So what I do is I take that mile, plug it into the calculators, and from that, we can figure out what your speed should be for various different runs that we're going to do throughout this training program. So the 3 main types of runs that we do during the training program are our easy paces, which is a lot of the stuff that we've been doing so far is all of our easy pace stuff. And what happens is we do the mile and we calculate the paces, and what people find is they're actually currently running their easy pace runs too fast. And I know that can seem counterintuitive to people of, well, I thought I'm trying to get faster. Shouldn't I try to run fast? But actually when we're doing our easy pace and our long runs, the purpose of those is really to get a little bit more cardio and to get the time on your feet. And they're not really made to make you faster. They're made to help you run a little bit longer. And what typically happens is people be running those too fast, and then you put more wear and tear on your body. And with that, then you can't do the workouts quite to the point, or you can't run as many miles throughout the week because you've run too fast for those miles. So usually when we get the Magic Mile and we calculate out the times, that's the biggest surprise for people that, I'm supposed to be running slower for these easy runs than I've been running before. The other thing that we calculate from this Magic Mile is what our tempo pace is. And so we'll do a lot of tempo pace, not quite as much as we did last year. I think I went a little bit too crazy on the tempo pace stuff. But the tempo pace stuff, what that can do is your legs get tired throughout a run. And a lot of times what that is that's lactic acid building up in your legs. And what we try to do is we can calculate about what speed will create that lactic acid, because your body can process a certain amount of lactic acid. And so we're going to do these training runs that are right at that level where your body can produce the lactic acid and your body is flushing that out. And so if we train right at that level, we can gradually bump that faster and faster, so that, at first it might be 10 minutes per mile where that threshold is. And after some training at it, we can bump that down to 9:45, 9:30, 9:15. And as we bump that faster and faster, that's going to allow you to run faster and faster. But again, with that workout, it's very critical that we run those at those paces, because if we don't run it at the paces, what we're doing is we're putting a lot more wear and tear on our body, and we're not getting any additional benefit for that wear and tear that we're putting on our body. So then the final thing that we really calculate from this is what our race pace is going to be. And the reason this is so important is because a lot of times what happens is people start off a race and they go way too fast at the beginning, and then they get tired, and then they slow way down. And what happens is their average pace is actually slower than what it could have been if they would just run a consistent race throughout the whole race. So with this, the Magic Mile, we can give an estimate. Now, it's not going to be perfect, and it's never exactly 100% on, but it's actually surprising at how close we can get on some of these as to what paces we should be running, especially what pace you can run for the race. And a lot of times that's the first thing people look at. They get their Magic Mile and, okay, what time am I going to be able to run in the race from this? But what this does is it allows us to determine when we do our race pace interval workouts throughout the training program, what pace you should be training at and what pace will give you a successful race coming up later. So I know some people are a little bit scared, for the Magic Mile. It's their first time. And after you've done these a few times, running a mile at all-out speed isn't the most exciting thing to do, but it is pretty exciting to see the results from it and what pacing you're supposed to do. And it gives you a lot of good information that we can use throughout the program. So don't be scared. And like I said, weather permitting, if we get, snow and ice, we're not gonna jeopardize safety and have everyone push out at an all-out mile. So we'll be smart about it, but weather permitting, it'll be a fun Magic Mile. It's pretty exciting to see where we're at. And then what's really exciting is when we do these later in the program and you can start to compare, you can start to see where you've improved throughout the season. So look forward to that happening this season. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know.